Okay, so our course is based on the price action, support and resistance, and advanced price action. In the basic price action, we will learn about the candlestick formation. What's the meaning of the candlestick, the parts of the candlestick, their information, how we can use them, and how we can trade them. We will learn all about the candlestick from the basic. And the chart, how the chart is forming means the cluster of the candlestick is how working or how making, and what the information we are getting from the chart to understand that story and start predicting the candlestick next candlestick, like. So slowly we will read all the candlestick, all the patterns, their momentum, their sequences, and their similarities. All these things we will learn in this basic price action in this portion. And when we will complete this one, then we will move to the support and resistance. The support is and resistance is the major part of the trading, in which we will learn how to draw the support and resistance, how to use it, what's the value of the level, and how many types of the levels we will use into the trading. All about the support and resistance. It will take a 3 days, three lectures. Means three lectures we will learn the basic price action, three lectures we will learn the support and resistance, and two lectures we will learn the advanced price action, in which candlestick psychology, chart patterns, breakout, fake breakout, news reading, and trading times. So 8 classes will be on the only just on the price action. And after that, 2 classes will be for the volume spread analysis. Why we are learning the volume? Because when we will learn the price action, the action sometimes give us a false statements. The volume will give us a true information about the price action, that the price action is giving right or wrong information. So we need to trade, we need to follow, or we need to avoid. And after that one, the one day we will consume onto the trader psychology, in which we will create our psychology as a trader, how we can think about the market, how we can control the emotions, how we can understand that why we are fearing from the losses, and how we can remove these losses thinking, and the greed, the revenge. These 2 points were very important. We will learn, and then what are the basic mistakes a trader is doing in the market, which will be called the traps of the market. So how we can read our mistakes and how we can learn from our mistakes, what the things we need to do in trading and what the things we don't do in a trading. We will learn all these points here. After that, one day we will consume the risk and reward planning, means our plan, how much money we need to earn from the market and how much we will invest, what will be our daily target, what will be our daily losses, how we can use the money management, and how our application we will use, our strategies we will use into the money management system. So all these will be the lectures in a different days. Slowly I will give the lectures. You will work on, you both of us, we will work on the those lectures. And if there will be any confusion, slowly we will go, because we have a language problem. Sometimes maybe you will understand, sometimes not. So slowly we will cover every point. And one point, every point I will repeat 2 or 3 times as you can understand, or both of you can understand very well. Is there anything which you want to add here? Any recommendation? Yes, David. Do you want something to add in it?
Uh, yes.
Yes, tell me.
Um, sorry, I don't understand.
Okay, not a
So,
problem. Okay, not a problem. If, for example, if there will be any important point, if you are unable to speak within English, then you can translate and send me a message that I can read that what's the concern, right? So
okay.
slowly we can continue. And also for you, I will support you, because your language is Italian and English, maybe you will understand completely or not. Maybe you are using the translation. So I will support both of you. Slowly, slowly, I will go as you, both of you can get the benefit of this course. Okay. Wherever, if you find you are not understanding anything, you can send me the message. I will stop. I will repeat it again and again. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome, welcome. Okay. So now we are going to start. Okay. Let's.
Okay.
Okay. So start. First of all, we are going to start reading the candlestick. A candlestick consists on this information: open, close, low, high, and its body color. So each and every candlestick, which looks like that, the open price of the candlestick you will find in a green candlestick at this area. The low price you will find below the open price, and the close price above the closing price, above the opening price, and the high price you will find here. Okay, so these prices will give us the information how to read the candlestick. Likewise, if you see that this is called the wick of the body.
Mhm.
This is the wick, or we can call it a lower wick, and that is called the upper wick. In the lower wick, the sellers entered, and then after some times, the buyers controlled them. So this wick is very important. Means the lower wick is very important. I'm writing here to understand that lower wick, sellers entered first, then buyers control them, this wick is more important than upper wick. Okay.
Okay.
So this wick is more important. Means in all our strategies, we will use the lower wick of the green candlestick. And while we are talking about the upper wick shows the sellers reject the buyers. Means sellers weaken the buyers. But still, buyers are controllers. Means upper wick is not too much important as compared to the lower wick. So we will we will more focus on the lower wick. This is the total body, means this lower wick, it is very important wick. Here, totally bias are there. Very, very strong bias in it. Very strong bias. So this point, you both of you keep in mind that this is a complete, very strong bias in this zone. For example, we have a bias candle, and my market is moving in up or an up direction. And after sometimes, if you find the sellers entered in this zone, like they close insidely in this zone. In which zone? In the zone of the bias, which is if they are very strong there. Immediately the buyers will enter after this closing price. Sellers entered, sellers closed in this week. And immediately you can expect a green candlestick, which will be reversed back immediately. So this wick is very, very important. in our trading. And this week, why we will use in all our other strategies, this will be the filter. This is the universal filter that sometimes why price is reversing back without any support and resistance level and without any area, because this is the most important point in all our trading. So this point, both of you keep in mind as much as you can need to practice on it. Okay, so while we understood about the lower wick, the formation of the lower wick is what? For example, if there is a green candlestick, and then if you find there is a wick, this wick means that in the start of the market, the sellers entered, and then buyers controlled them from here. They controlled them till that. Again, sellers entered in the market to weaken the buyer. So this is buyers controlled, and this is sellers weaken. Sellers are active, and here sellers failed. Means that is the very important week. Okay, let's now we understand the seller's candlestick. Okay, in the seller's candlestick means whatever the concept we will learn in a buyer, that will be opposite for the seller. Whatever the concept will be for the buyer, same concept will be opposite for the seller. If this week is very important, then here this week will be important. Opposite. If this is not important, means this is not important. Too much not important. This is important. This is important. Why this is important? The buyers entered. When the candlestick opens, the buyers entered here. They entered. Then who controlled them? The sellers control them. Oh, like that. From here to here. The sellers control them. Till that, the sellers controlled. Then again, who entered? The buyers entered. Now buyers are very weak. They are not too much strong. They just a minor weak in the seller. But this is totally buyers is failed. The buyers failed, sellers controlled it. So the zone, like a seller zone, is very important. The buyer's zone is very important. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going right. My communication is
Yes.
okay. I'm going slowly. Okay, so this is
Okay.
very important. And if I just to show you some examples on it, okay, look at here. See, this is the control wick, right? And this is the control wick. This is the control wick. It is called the control wick. Likewise, this is the control wick for the sellers. This is the control wick. This is the control wick. So for example, if we are using this control wick, like just for understanding that this control wick, how rejecting the price, and this control wick means this is broken. The seller's candle is broken, this one. This is the seller's control wick. This is the seller's control wick. You can see the buyers are rejected back, unable to continue the price. This is the seller's control wick, which is rejected back this buyer. The seller's control wick, it is rejected here, like here. Likewise, we will use all these type of different strategies, this control wick. Okay. After that we are going to understanding wick of bullish candlestick, how the wick is forming, the formation of the wick. Look at, for example, if the sellers entered in the market, this is the 30-second candle of sellers, they entered and buyers controlled them. This is totally called the engulfing, to cover the candle. And when the candle will be covered, so we will subtract it from this area to this area. And then when we will subtract it, it will form this wick. And why it is a green? Because the remaining body is a green. And when we will enter this body, it becomes this shape. Means when we are subtracting the candles, we will find the new shape of the candle. Like there are millions of the shape, but the shapes have a category. 4 to 5 categories are there. Those 4 to 5 categories, we will understand all the candlestick. So this is called very strong category. This is called the strong candles. The another candle, first buyer centered and then seller centered. In this, you can find when we will subtract, there will be the wick. This wick, why it's a green, its remaining body is a green. So this type of all candles, this type of all candles are strong, and this type of all candles will be weak.
Weak.
Yes. So these are all types of these candles will be weak. There will be a lot of candles which have a green candle, similar body, upper rejection. All candlestick will be weak. This type of is strong, and this type of candles, when the sellers entered, buyers entered, and the sellers entered. Subtract from the top side, subtract from the bottom side. When we will subtract green, green, a remaining body from the bottom, from the mid, we will put this type of all candlestick are the neutral candlestick. What? Yeah. Neutral candles. And then we will find the another point. That is a very small entry for the sellers, big entry for the buyers, small entry for the sellers. And if you will find this candlestick, it is a normal type of candlestick. What's the difference between the neutral and normal? The normal candlestick have a bigger body, and the neutral candles have a smaller body. And the neutral candles have a smaller body. Upper wick and lower wick is equal. Here the upper and lower is equal, but the body is very big. So these 4 categories are very important for our all strategies to understand the candlestick, reading the candlestick. Now, again, if we will go for the sellers, the buyers controlled by the sellers. So this is the candlestick which is very strong for the sellers. This type of candlestick, which have upper wicks. And this is a candlestick which have a lower wick. It is very, very weak type of candlestick. And this is a candlestick which is very, very neutral. And this is a candlestick which is normal type of candlestick. Means when we will predict the candlestick, we need these all categories. Sometimes we need a strong candle, sometimes we need a weak candle, sometimes we need a neutral candles, and sometimes normal candles. Or the sometimes we will find the complete cluster of in the market, in the chart. Means the chart is the combination of all these categories. You will never find all the candles are strong. You will never find all the candles are normal or all the neutral. Means you will find 2 candlestick will be strong, one will be normal, another will be neutral, another will be weak candlestick. Like that, the combination of a chart or the cluster of the chart we will find here. After that, we need to understand the candlestick ranges. Means this is the last part of the candlestick sequence of the strength and weakness. That which candlestick is strong, which is weak. If you can find here, all the strong candles of the bias will be looks like that. These are the strong candles, and these are the normal candles. So this normal candle, if the body is bigger, upper wick is bigger, lower is smaller, all types of millions of candles, if which relate to this one, it will be called the normal candle. And if you find this is a weak candlestick, because upper rejection in the green candlestick shows the weakness of the buyer, and the both-sided rejection, it shows, and the smaller body shows the neutral of the candlestick. These are the neutral. Neutral means they connect the trend, they connect the 2 candles. Weakness means lot of chances for the reversal. Normal means the trend is going in a perfect mood. Strong means the market can reverse the market. Means after the sellers, if the strong candles comes, there will be possibility to reverse the trend. So all the candlestick have their own strength and weakness and own story. To understand that story, we need to understand all the shapes by the name. that those shapes how we can use into the chart and how we can use to reading. Like the sailors, you will find this is a sailor's candlestick. It's a normal candlestick. It's a weak candlestick. And it's a neutral. So these all the candlestick ranges you need to be understand all the time. Means if you open the chart and if you are able to understand that these all candlestick you are recognizing on the chart, means this lesson is clear. You must go on the chart and then find all the candlestick you are recognizing. If yes, means you are going right. After that, to understand that what are the candlestick names, the names of the candlestick, the patterns names, which we will use in the market, which are we are going to use. The candlestick, oh, just this is not, I need to use this one. Okay, yes. The single candlestick patterns. The single candlestick patterns, there are two parties. One, there is a buyer, another is a seller. So the patterns which will be learned by the buyers, the same patterns will be for the sellers. Like there's a bullish hammer pattern. The bullish hammer pattern is very strong type of candle. The bullish inverted hammer, it is not as strong, it is a weak type of candle. A spinning candle, it is a neutral candle. This candle which upper wick or lower wick, there is no, means it's a shaven candle, that is called the Marubozu candle. And that is a candle which is closed like that, it's called the closed Marubozu. And that is a candle which is called the open Marubozu. There are 6 candlesticks for the single candlestick pattern. And same 6 candlestick you will find for the sellers: bearish hammer, bearish inverted hammer, and a spinning candle, Marubozu, closed Marubozu, and it's open Marubozu. So these 6 candles for the buyer, 6 candles for the sellers, you have to remember by the name, by the nature, that which candlestick is strong and which candlestick is weak, where we can use it. So this single candlestick pattern is count by the 2 things, the reversal pattern and the continuation pattern. How it will be the reversal pattern? Let's see. First of all, there are 4 more single candlestick pattern: bullish pin bar and the bearish pin bar. It looks like a hammer and inverted hammer. Okay. Now to understand, the single candlestick pattern is a reversal or the single candlestick pattern is a continuation, or they are both reversal and continuation. How we can differentiate them? Think it's a reversal pattern. If you find a red candle, any type of red candle, not this one, any type of small or big or normal or medium, whatever the red candle you found, after that, if you find a green candlestick, this hammer, means this is called the reversal pattern. Reversal pattern always comes after the opposite party or counterparty, means after the sellers, if you find this single candlestick, it is called the reversal pattern. And this is called the reversal pattern. Inverted hammer is a reversal pattern. Spinning candle as a reversal pattern. Same for the sellers. If you find first buyers enter and then the sellers enter, it's a reversal pattern. It's a reversal pattern. It's a reversal pattern. And then if you find a continuation pattern, that understand what's the difference. Look at all the candlestick, means before there's a green candlestick, then it's a hammer. Here to difference, red, then hammer, green, then hammer. Green, then hammer, it's a continuation pattern. Red, then hammer, it's a reversal pattern. That is a difference. And another difference, the next candlestick will be green. There are 55% chances. The next candlestick will be green. There are 80% chances. Means a hammer work well after the green candle. The hammer not work well as compared to this one, continuation pattern. Means the continuation pattern is a powerful pattern. Mostly traders are using the continuation pattern as compared to the reversal pattern. we will follow the continuation patterns. And the continuation pattern also we can use with another pattern, like when we will understand the double candlestick pattern, like a engulfing, like a outside bar, like a piercing line, which we will learn right now. After that, these are the seller's continuation pattern. Means the chart is based on the candle and continuation pattern, candle and reversal pattern. So if the market wants to reverse back, they are using the reversal patterns. If market want to continue, the chart is using the continuation patterns. Miss, this we cannot ignore. It is very basic, but it is very important. After that, double candlestick pattern. To understand the double candlestick pattern, if you think that this is a bullish pattern, bullish engulfing, and this is the outside bar, what is the difference between the both candlestick, the both patterns? It is covering the both body. Means the seller's body is covered by the green, seller's body is covered by the green. But why it is this is a bullish engulfing and this is the outside bar? What's the difference? The difference you can understand that when there is a big candle green, we take in a 50% line, and the red candle is greater than the 50% line. Here, the red candle is smaller than the 50% line. So greater than 50% line, it's a bullish engulfing. Smaller than the 50% line, it's the outside bar. But outside bar have one more condition. What is that? It must be greater than the 25%. So if the body is, the red candlestick is less than 25%, that will be not outside bar. The body must be greater than the 25%, lesser than the 50%. That will be called the outside bar. And then the piercing line means here the big candle is a red. We will take in a 50% part of the red candle. Green candle is bigger than the 50%. It's called the piercing line, lesser than the 100%. The green candlestick is smaller than the 50%, but greater than the 25% inside bar. And this is the bullish harami. These are the bearish pattern, bearish engulfing, outside bar, dark cloud cover, inside bar, and bearish harami. Now, every trader is thinking after the pattern, the next candlestick will be green or the next candlestick will be the red. So when we are reading the chart, for example, if it is a bullish engulfing, what will be the next candlestick? If we want to read it, what will be the next candlestick? This is our course. What will be the next candle? Means our course based on the prediction of the next candle. First of all, to understand the concept and then decide what will be the next candle, when to buy and when to sell. This is our course. First of all, understand concept and then predict the candlestick. What will be the next candle? What will be the next candlestick? What will be next? What will be the next? Here also, what will be next? Next, 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 next. In this portion, green candle 55% chances. Buy candle 55% chances. And red candle 45% chance. Means we need to improve. We need to improve. This is not a good sign. If directly we will use all these patterns, we will lose the money. We need to improve. Add logics to make it 85%. Okay, so this education which we are learning, that we need to improve and add the logics to become a 85% the right prediction that we will invest money or not. If we will invest money, for example, 5 trades you will win, you will cover your daily target. But if you will lose the 5 trades, means you are losing your money. That's we need to improve it. Directly we cannot use. So for example, If directly we are using, we are getting the 55%. But if we will use the after pattern, we will wait for 1 minute. If we got a hammer, if we got a hammer, the next candlestick will be green 80%. Or if it is a spinning, the next candlestick will be green 80% chance. Or it will be the inverted hammer, the next candlestick will be green 80% chance. Means if we just to put the 3 candlestick, we will get the good winning ratio. But what will be if we just to add the bigger candle, then what will happen? Or if we will add the bigger candlestick, then what will happen? The new pattern will be generated. Let's understand the combination of the new pattern. See here. That is called the 3 outside up bullish pattern. You can just to identify a bullish engulfing. Added one big candle. A new pattern is generated. Bullish engulfing plus one strong candle. It is called the 3 outside up bullish. Why it's a 3? The total candles are 3. Why it's a outside? The second candle is breaking the first candlestick, means the second candle closed the outside. And this candlestick is a green, which is a strong, which completes the 3 pattern, the 3 outside up bullish pattern. This is the 3 outside up bullish pattern, right? And this pattern, for example, if you find an engulfing and you are waiting for the continuation sign, but there is no continuation sign and there is a strong candle, means you need to wait 1 more minute. You need to wait 1 more minute. Then the next candlestick, if you find another continuation sign, then you have to trade here, like here. Then you can continue like the trade, but you need to wait. Sometimes 1 minute we will wait, sometimes 2 minutes we will wait. I will give complete diagram. Okay, so there's the outside bar with a strong candle. That will be also a 3 outside up. Outside bar plus one strong candle. Okay. And then 3 inside a bullish pattern. Look at there is another bullish pattern, which is a Pearson line and then green candlestick. Inside bar and then green candlestick. This is also a pattern. So all these patterns, how we will trade, I will give you the diagram. Like in the bearish, you will find the 3 outside down. 3 outside down with this formation. These are all of the patterns. These patterns have a meaning, the information, what will be the next. And all patterns I will show in the market and what will be the reaction. 3 inside down, see. These are the patterns. So in the today's class, just today's task, I'm just showing the task. This is the today's work, both of you. It will take a time, but that is very important. And another point which you have to learn, identify candlestick, strength and weakness. That will be your another task to identify. First of all, you will identify the candlestick strength and weakness. Then all patterns remember and recognize on chart. And then the third point, identify control wicks of buyer and control wakes of Sarah. This is the third point which you have to identify. Means the 3 days or one day is a gap. So tomorrow you have to complete all this task. And then day after tomorrow, I will check and then we will start the new lesson. Is there anything which I want to add until this is complete here? Today's lesson is complete.